like I'm blasting him. When he hits the wall, that went right into that motion, so that I can nail that knees and then bam, nail that. See how when I put my hand on him, what did I do?
Violence destroys. Weaponizing is the counter strategies to violent criminal assault. Hey, I'm Greg LaBeouf, aka The Violence Guy, and I'm sharing with you how I went from the victim of a brutal attempted murder to mastering the tool of violence and protecting myself and family, and how you can do the same from the safety and comfort of your own home. Welcome to Weaponizing DIY.
At the end of my blast, I would shift it into that positive pressure where I shove him into that wall. As I shove him into that wall, much like you guys are doing, fire the tools in on the guy, fire the tools in on the guy. Here's the key thing. This is position one place to keep good positive pressure up on the face. The next thing you want to recognize is the different other choke points on the body, and one of them is right behind the shoulder, not on the shoulder. Okay, if you went to the front of the shoulder, that'd be okay. See how I have your head twisted one way and your shoulder pressed back the other way? It feels different, doesn't it? If I keep you here, and I'm pressing like into your shoulder and here, that's one thing, but if you move your arm, you change how I have control of your body. I mean, that's very easy for you to do. I'm here, your arm moves, and I start to slip out of you. So this is a really, really weak control point on this part of the body if you're pressing straight into his shoulder. So if you got a guy here, I might be here for half a second, but I'm mean, and if his shoulder was this way a little bit more, I would press the shoulder this way. It opens up his body to me, right? It gives me now a completely much harder for you to defend your groin and stuff like that. It presses that back. It keeps this arm short. Because remember, when someone throws a punch, where the power generates from is that shoulder. So if he tries to throw a punch and I'm trying to be on the arm, he can generate a lot of body force if his shoulders can move. If I keep the shoulder pin and the head pin the opposite way, okay, it's going to be real hard. Even the guy with long arms, his hand might be getting there. There's not going to be anything on it. So you can be nailing the guy here. You've got, obviously, you can elbow come from there, elbow can come from here. You can still let go of this. But it's that positive pressure that keeps his body in, and boom, and then back into that positive pressure. Okay, if I switch the hand up, I might switch it to here. Now, I let go of that body a little bit, but I also zone my body away and nail him that way, which is going to turn and then push back in on this side. Okay, so one choke point is the head. The second choke point is the front of the shoulder. Most times what I find though, is that when you drive a guy in this way, he doesn't open back up to you. His shoulder doesn't tend to lean, he turns away from you more. Okay, the second choke point, the third choke point is the back here. Now, back of the shoulder or lap. Okay, so if I press it on your head here, and I press you in here, feel where I'm driving your body into the wall? Yeah. Now what I can do is I can be hitting here. If this guy is strong and he starts pushing out from the wall, it's sometimes hard to hold him with this hand on his shoulder. I'll take my radial bone, come up underneath the lap. This is just a good tight shove point, and I'll push him back into the wall this way. How much more power means a lot more strength than shoving you in this way. All right, once I have him in that way, I can release it, come back, fire my tools, or come over top, but I can keep him shoving into the wall this way or this way. It's like I'm blasting him. When he hits the wall, that went right into that motion, so that I can nail that knees and then bam, nail that. See how when I put my hand on him, what did I do? I put my hand on him and pinned his whole body and kept forward pressure on him. Now I might pop off him a little bit, but I won't pop off until boom, I throw that elbow. And if I pop off him and throw that elbow, it's because I can lean the body back and generate positive pressure, more forward pressure on his body. If he spins, shove him in this way. If he was here shoulder, I'll move my body and I'll shove him here and nail him there. So it's like I'm always moving my body and watching how his body is responding and moving my body in relation to create more forward, like a positive pressure on the body. You're going to do way more damage because they're uninterrupted hits. So for example, if you got your hands in my face and your hands did come up, I would frame back out of your range a little bit, and what am I going to try to do? Not stand here and try to hit you through these tools. All right, if one side come out, I'm going to frame and get around your tool and get you back to where I need you to be. So I might not get there instantaneously off the first shot, but I'm going to constantly work to get there. Okay, and it's not going to be any different. Where this is going to help you is if there is two guys, and I take you into this wall, and boom, I'm throwing shots, and I'm nailing you or whatever, and there's other guys, if I can't just disengage, but I pull you off that wall, when you're out here, you saw a couple guys getting wrapped up here throwing knees, you got to be on these choke points on the body. Right? If you get a guy, you're nailing him, and he bends down on you because he's hurt, you can't run into him this way, because if he falls, you're going to go with him. You gotta have those spots to frame on his, or shove on his body to get him out of the way. That way I'm keeping a nice distance that I can still fire all of my tools, right? Remember, trapping is a range, so headbutts, knees, and elbows, that's a range. You have to make sure that you're staying at that range as much as you possibly can, not going too close and not staying too far back unless you choose to zone back, right?